All right, so it's the first of the month. We got good news as well as even more good news because as far as Jordan Brand's holiday 2025 lineup here for December, it's looking real interesting. I feel like you got a little something for everybody. The return of a beloved OG classic. We got some really cool collaborations dropping this month, and of course, the big annual holiday Jordan 11 release. So comment down below. Let me know how many pairs you guys are going to be going for coming up this December to begin. We're going to start with a few more recent releases, which actually today we saw Jordan Brand drop these Jordan 1 Highs Elephant, which from a design standpoint, beautiful looking shoe. The choice of colors is great. I like the neutral grays mixed in with the ivory, the sail, translucent bottom, which reveals flight. Some real nice details, Wings logo, as well as the elephant cement print featured on the iconic Nike swoosh. Made famous, you know, about them classic threes, which dropped back in the day. I don't got to tell you guys too much about those, but one thing about the elephant cement print coming up, I used to be in love with these right here, right? I feel like back in the day, if these would have dropped, I thought these would have been so cool. Remember them like reverse threes or the flip threes, which Jordan Brand was messing with back in the day? I thought those were so cool, but now looking back on them, outside of nostalgia, not a huge fan, right? I would have even said when you talk about these ones, they could have did without the elephant cement print on the swoosh, but then again, I guess the shoe would kind of lose its flair, its character and all that. So I think this is a sneaker which may appeal kind of to maybe older collectors or something like that. But as far as the release, we did see these hit some of Nike's retail partners today. Retail was a 185. And when we talk about the Jordan 1 High, for the record, I would say, I don't know if it's controversial or not, but I just like the Jordan 1 High, actually. I prefer over the 85 cut. Moving right along, we also saw the Jordan 40 Bordeaux release today, which of course, that color scheme was made famous by the iconic sevens, beloved worldwide, all across the world. The Bordeaux actually represents, you know, the city in France, which of course they're known for their fine wine, which you've heard it before. They say a glass of wine is great for the heart. And I would say when you talk about these Bordeaux 40s, these are great for the heart as well as very appealing on the eyes. I like the Jordan 40. I like what they've been doing this year, mixing it up with these hybrid models, you know, giving a little push on the mainline Jordan release for this year. So dope looking color. As far as the demand for this release, it's kind of difficult to gauge, right? Because these did hit a select retail partners for Nike. And as far as the Nike release, according to Eldon Monitors, they dropped roughly just around 500 pairs, making this release quite limited. And at the time of this recording, it looks like just a few of the bigger sizes have began to sell out. But nice pair looking Jordan 40s, which we're going to touch on the 40s a little bit more coming up here later. Moving right along, we got the Jordan 11 China, which this year they've been doing big things for the 11 as they're celebrating the 30th anniversary. From when that sneaker originally dropped back in 95, we've had some city exclusive pairs which dropped over here in the US. And then this is the China exclusive, which is an interesting take on the classic 11. I would say not really for everybody, but as far as this release, apparently these dropped on the 1st, which based off China, they're about a day ahead of us. Technically, I guess these would have dropped yesterday. So interesting one. Like I said, not really for everybody, but mixing things up a bit. And apparently there's also a Japan exclusive 11 supposed to be dropping sometime coming up here soon as well. Next up, we got the Jordan 3 Soulfly, which we've seen Jordan Brand drop various collaborations with Soulfly for years now. They're based out of South Florida, a retailer, which I would say so far out of all of their releases, at least for me, I feel like this is the best representation for South Florida, where the retailer happens to be located. I like the subtle touch with that Soulfly logo on the back, colors representing the Miami Hurricanes. It doesn't get any more Miami than this one. I like the fact that they kind of use that white upper, almost feels like a play off the white cement threes. Real subtle, but of course the colors, they stand out. So this one seems to be on a lot of people's radar, right? How can you blame them? It's a good looking shoe. Now, what do you guys feel like about the placement of that Soulfly logo? As y'all see it right there on the back heel tab. Remember other praised Jordan Brand collaborations this year, such as the Awake 5s, had a more bold design choice featuring that big A across the upper. So what do y'all think about the placement with that Soulfly on the back heel tab? I think it's a nice little touch, which I think, you know, adds more value to this shoe. Now, as far as the release details for this pair, apparently Soulfly might drop these sometime this week on their website. That's how they rolled out the 12s, which you saw drop last year. There is an equal raffle, which is going to be going live coming up tomorrow. So if you're looking to get your hands on these, it's probably in your best interest to go ahead and enter the equal raffle and then stay tuned for more release details. Who knows, maybe these will hit the sneakers app, but I would say if I had to bank on it, probably not. So that's a great pair, possibly the best collab, which we're gonna have to talk about that here a little bit later. But then, of course, we got the Jordan 5 PSG, which Jordan Brand's partnership with the football kit. PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, dates back to 2018. They've had some pretty cool releases throughout the years. As far as this one, you know, you got the black upper, the little hints of pink featured in there. Rather than the netting, you got the PSG kind of, I guess, branding, as well as the vintage age sole, which that right alone is gonna already rub people the wrong way. Rather than Nike Air on the back, got the Jumpman logo. So with this one, it's kind of a wobbler, right? The interesting part about it, I feel like the reason that it's getting so much discourse, which by the way, online, a lot of people are trashing these. I think it could be due to the choice of material. I don't even know what they call this. It's like more of like a canvas type material. I think maybe if these would have been like full leather on the upper, maybe a little more appealing, no vintage sole, and then hit us with the Nike on the back, I think these would have been a bigger hit. But also something I noticed, which this shoe gets even more interesting, because looking at prices via the secondary market, these sneakers are already going for under retail before the sneakers app release, which usually tells a lot about a shoe, whether it was backdoored, whether there's not a lot of interest for a particular release, or it could have been the case that maybe these joints have already released overseas, right, for the reason that these are going for undervalue. But as far as your sneakers app drop, these are set to release coming up December 3rd. And when you talk about a pair of Jordan 5s, right, if you're somebody that loves the 5s, maybe missed out on the black metallics, aren't looking to pay resale, I would say these aren't a bad looking pair of shoes. I don't know if it's the material or what, but it seems like a lot of people are kind of bashing these. Seems to be a lot of discourse concerning this sneaker online. So jump in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about those joints, man. Moving right along, another collaboration, which is rumored to be releasing coming up on the 12th. Another one from A Ma Maniére. They're calling these the Dark Mocha 4s, or I'm sure there'll be some type of an official name for this pair right here, which earlier this year we did get the Cavestone 4s. They're getting a lot of comparisons, of course, due to the similar brown color scheme. But as far as this brown, it's a much more darker shade, more of like a chocolatey mocha mixed up with kind of some burgundy hits. You got the little black Nike Air on the back, of course the quilted sock liner on the tongue as well as on the sock liner, which it looks like it goes from black to burgundy. So what do you guys think about this color mashup? The burgundies infused with the blacks, the browns. I think it comes together to create something nice. Not a bad looking shoe, right? I feel like people that are already bought into the whole A Ma Maniére, you know, ecosphere, whatever you want to call it, I think they're gonna love these. I think these are a must cop for them. But for like hype beasts, I don't think this is one that's gonna win over any new fans or anything. I think it's a good looking shoe. But the question, right? We got the 6s, which they just dropped recently. Those are still available via the website, full size, run available. So do y'all feel like they're gonna pull the 6s before these drop? Like, what's the deal? I think it's a good looking shoe overall, but like I said, probably not enough to maybe, you know, win over the hype beast crowd or whatever. But another solid drop from A Ma Maniére. I'm guessing when they were cooking these up, they probably thought these were going to be a smash hit. But we'll see how the people respond. Again, you do got the additional Christmas traffic. Maybe these ones could surprise a lot of people, which then brings us here to the Jordan 11 Gamma Blue, which out of everything dropping this month, this is the one you're probably going to hear the most about, right? These aren't set to drop now for a couple of more weeks. Trust me, every sneaker YouTube is going to be dropping videos about this shoe every day, and rightfully so, right? It's the big holiday annual Jordan 11 release, which has been a tradition dating back for years. My first pair of Jordan 11s for Christmas time would be the Concord 11s from back in 2011, which really set the tone for a lot of these releases. That release was insane throughout the years. They've dropped some really great OGs, some cool new colorways, some hits, some misses. But as far as this one, I think this one is more going to align on the hit side of things. You know, one, for the fact that these originally dropped back in 2013. So you got the people that have nostalgia from that OG release, whether they were able to secure their pair, rock the hell out of them back in the day, or maybe missed out. Maybe they couldn't grab these back in the day, and now, you know, in 2025 are looking to finally secure this pair. But even outside of that, I feel like the consensus is that as far as these Gamma Blues, one of the better non-OG Jordan 11 colorways. And for all those reasons, the fact that people will be out here literally buying up pairs for the whole family, men's, women's, kid sizes. I can expect this one to be a hit, big hit. Plus, the timing of this release, right? Coming off the Black Cat 4s, resellers, they're really hyping these things up, right? Every so often, you get a release from Jordan Brand, which kind of catches people off guard. Black Metallic 5s earlier this year. Black Cat 4s, right? Just kind of reminds everybody, you know, of the impact of these Jordan releases. Not saying every drop is going to be an instant sellout, but it's just those special ones that kind of remind people. And I feel like leading up for this drop, all of those reasons come together, which means that this shoe is probably going to be pretty highly sought after, regardless of how many pairs of these are out there. I think these ones will eventually sell out, right? Or you're going to have to like do your homework, as they like to say. Maybe not, but I think as far as the release date, if you want these, you should be able to get your hands on them. But then again, we're a couple of weeks away from the drop. $235 for these, bruh. Jordan Brand, bruh. What's up with your bald head ass, bruh? Like, $235 for these right here? Hey, MJ, man, it's the Christmas season, bro. Like, come on, man. Y'all killing us for these right here. But, hey, it is what it is. And regardless of the price, bro, people are going to be going crazy for these. So when you talk about these 11s, trust me, not the last time you're going to hear about these from me. And you'll probably hear every sneaker YouTuber literally, bombarding you with content about these leading up to the date, which then brings us here to the Bugs Bunny 8s, set to release on the 20th. Beloved OG classic. Not too much to say about these. Don't want to hit y'all with the same stories about this one, but people love these OG collectors. They're going to be coming out for these. The 8s, almost feel like Jordan Brand doesn't overdo the 8s too much, but they still get a lot of love. Plus, with this pair set to drop right before Christmas, bro, like, that's also going to affect the demand. A lot of people are going to be going for these. People are going to get their Christmas money up. I think this one will be a sellout as well. And then we got a couple of wobblers. Some pairs which we don't really know exactly, or I'm not sure when they're going to drop, but apparently the 4016s, as well as the 4023s, these fusions of some past Jordans mixed in with the new 40s, apparently are supposed to drop sometime this month, which these go crazy, by the way. Like, they smashed these, the 23s. I think these go even crazier, especially once you remove that little upper layer, man. These are so dope. No telling when these drop. I'm not saying these are shoes which are like on my radar or anything like that. I ain't out here buying up every shoe, right? We got to be selective. But just from a design standpoint, cultural standpoint, historic standpoint, like, how can you not love these if you've been in the game for so long? Like, you just got to appreciate it. A little hint of nostalgia infused with the present. They snapped on these, bro. Like, I definitely rock with these, so stay tuned, man. Seems like a lot of people mess with these ones as well. And then another big wobbler. You guys know with these Travis Scotts, there's some reports of a December 19th release date. This is the Chase B joints. I've already talked about them. I'm not in love with this shoe like that, but being as it is a Travis Scott drop, and with the color, with the glow in the dark, the fact that it's also infusing his boy Chase B, which is gonna kind of have a cool little storytelling aspect, I think people are gonna love these. As far as release details though, we'll see how they play it out. Cause you know with a Travis drop, it's never gonna be just a normal drop. He'll do something to, like, you know, get the hype going crazy. I wouldn't even be surprised if they drop these at like an exclusive limited release and then have like a wider release next year or something like that. But we'll see how they plan to drop these. But in my opinion, overhyped. Jumpman Jack, as far as a new silhouette from Travis and Jordan Brand, I appreciate that. I like that. But as far as on the list of colors that they've dropped so far, I mean, they're not bad, but not one of my favorites. So that's what we got to look forward to for the month of December. Who knows, maybe Jordan Brand will throw a few little surprises in there. I still think a shock drop for these Game of Blues would be a crazy idea, or at least a couple more early drops. I know overseas in Europe they had a little shock drop, which I think them joints were sitting, but in Europe the demand for Jordans ain't the same as over here. So I think a shock drop ahead of the release would be really cool. But you know, coming up in a couple of weeks, you guys will be able to get your hands on these. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, a lot of diversity, a little bit of something for everybody. Comment down below. Let me know how many pairs you're looking to secure here for the month of December. So JATV, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. You guys know what to do, man. If you're rocking with the channel, you want to support me, it's as simple as just smashing the like button down below. Plus, it sounds repetitive. Hate to be that guy, but if you mess with me, you've been rocking with the channel. Come along for the journey, man. We're currently on the road to 8,000 subscribers. I would appreciate everybody's support. Until next time, stay safe, stay blessed. I'm out, y'all. Love.